Yes, guys. Ryjack back here for another live stream. I'm excited to be back. City in Palermo tomorrow. It's going to be as far as I know, only preseason game that we're going to have. I know we had those closed doors type scrimmages, type friendly things, but this one will be live streamed on City Plus. I'll do a live watch along on the channel here tomorrow. I purchased the monthly option so that I could have access to do that. I've never had City Plus before, but should be pretty cool. Excited for that. All things football, sup? It's been a hot minute. It has, my friend. It has been a hot minute. There's just been not a lot of, I guess, stuff going on that I can, really do live streams. It's been a bit easier to do short form content than the full live streams, but games are back. We are here and ready to go for the season. Season kicks off in 8 days. Very, very exciting stuff going on. So let's see here. I'm going to pull this up over here. Make myself a little smaller on this side. We've got Palermo, 3 p.m. tomorrow. Of course, like I said, live watch along here on the channel. If you're new, watching on replay, hit me with a sub, like, comment, let me know. I'm trying to get to 400 subs on YouTube. I've also got TikTok as well as Instagram and Twitter, so you can find all that in my channel description. We've also built a nice little Discord channel going on. If you're interested in that, you can check that out. Link in the channel description as well. So for this City game tomorrow, of course, we have to check out Twitter and take a look at the big news. The traveling squad has dropped. I've got it right here for us. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. It's only a 22-man traveling squad. I guess I kind of thought it might be, I don't know, more of like a preseason type traveling squad where, you maybe have like 30 guys and, a lot of people play. Maybe not 30. Maybe 30 is a bit much, but I don't know. I'll go through the list here. We've got Ederson Trafford, the only goalies making the trip. Defenders, you got Rico Lewis, Abdikadir Kusanov, Mateus Nunes, who is, I guess, now fully classed as a defender. Ruben Diaz, Manu Akanji, John Stones. Interesting to see if he does actually play. Ake and Aitnori O'Reilly as well. Listed here as a defender, notably O'Reilly, not in the midfield section. Then you have Nico Gonzalez, of course, Nico G. Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Tijani Reinders, and Divin Mukasa, the young academy 17-year-old starlet. Very, very cool. Cool to see. Herbal, welcome to the chat, mate. Big up, mate. Finally caught a live. Great content. Keep it up. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Welcome as well. Very excited for the season to be back. We'll be doing tons and tons of live streams, videos, shorts, all that stuff. I'm pumped. This is my first full season doing Man City content. I started last year, and right when I started, we had the horrible run of games. So maybe that's on me. Maybe that's my bad. Hopefully we don't have that again this season. We got, for the attackers, Oscar Bob Savino, Omar Marmouche, Erling Haaland, and Jeremy Doku. As far as notable absentees, I have that right here as well. James McAtee, not surprisingly, of course, not going to be going. I think that transfer to Forest maybe gets done in the next couple of weeks. I would expect he wants that done so we can get over and get ready for the Prem and playing with his new team. I don't understand why that would not get done relatively soon. Grealish, no movement on that, except there's that West Ham for Paqueta link that I don't know if it's actually true. There's the Everton links, but do Everton want to cover the wages? Probably not. So who knows there. And some news today that Grealish is pushing for a Spurs move. Maybe makes sense. He's, could be Maddison's replacement. I don't think Spurs would do a purchase option, and they're not going to spend $300,000 on a week on wages. So I don't know. Grealish to Spurs, maybe. I think it makes sense. but it's probably just a loan, no option to maybe an option. I don't know. Who knows? Grealish obviously not going to be with the squad, even though there was some of that stuff coming out. I think that's not accurate. And Ortega obviously not going, looking for a new club at the moment. What position does Mukasa play exactly? I just know he's an attacker. I think. I mean, I have not watched a single academy game. I won't lie, guys. I am all about the first team and the academy players when they come through. Cool, but I am not watching the academy games. So as far as I know, he's like a 10. I could be wrong. Someone in the chat maybe can correct me with that, but I think 10. I think he's a 10 from what I understand. And maybe he can play like other midfield positions or like on the wing, but I don't think he's a striker, and I don't think he's like a 6. So somewhere in that area. Wasn't Naipan supposed to travel with us? I think I did see that he was going to, like the plan was to have him travel, but maybe a loan deal is nearing completion and they didn't want to risk it. So Naipan not in the traveling squad. Hussein, welcome to the chat, my guy. Hope you're doing good. He says, according to Pep, Roger won't be fully fit until the first international break. I did see that. It's disappointing. I was at the Orlando game when Rodri did get hurt. And I won't lie, guys, I didn't really think anything of it. I thought he would be totally all right. I'm a little upset about the injury news, but it does say in the article that he's going to play. He's just not going to be full 90 every game. And it's only really 3 games until the international break. I did check before we start. It's Wolves, it's Spurs, it's Brighton, and then we have the break, which, by the way, international breaks are the worst, but, at least it's only a few games. Mukasa is a 10. He can play 8 and cover right wing. He's very talented. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Our first 3 games are Wolves, Spurs, Brighton. Yes, correct. After the international break, our first 2 games are United and Arsenal. Hopefully he's just back and ready for that Arsenal game, because even without him, I think we could win our first four games, to be honest with you. Other notable absentees for the traveling squad. Vardiol, not fully fit. Doesn't say he's injured. It just says, I don't know. Vardiol is probably fine. There's been no news of an injury there. Same for Foden, same for Echeverri. Maybe Echeverri is still a bit injured from that injury in the Club World Cup, but if I remember right, that was like a sprained ankle or something. So I don't think that's that. Maybe that is another working on that loan deal situation. And Rodri, we've already talked about. Actually injured players. Kovacic, still recovering from the Achilles. Calvin Phillips, Achilles as well, I think. And Bettinelli, who knows? Kind of irrelevant, to be honest, about Bettinelli. He's not going to ever play. Will Rodri still be on the squad? Rodri is not traveling for this game tomorrow, but I think he's going to play. He may be, depending on how the Wolves game goes. Like, let's say we're up. He doesn't start the game and we're up 3-0 was set with 20 minutes. He ain't playing, which is fine. We don't need him to play in those type of games. If we can get through a game without Rodri, we do that. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, while we're talking about it, we might as well just look at the fixture list here and go over it while we have it in mind. Like you said, it's Palermo tomorrow. He's not playing. Wolves, ideally, we win that game. I mean, it's at Wolves. It's tough, but Wolves have lost some serious players. We took their left back, Aït-Nouri. Cunha is gone. They lost Pedro Neto year before. And I don't know who they've replaced these players with. So I envision Wolves to not be very good this year, even though their manager seems to be pretty good. In general, I can imagine Wolves are not a very good team. Maybe not relegation type team, but bottom half of the table, like 14, 15, somewhere around that area. Spurs away, or this is at home. I don't know. This is at home. Spurs at home. So at least it's not away. Obviously you want Rodri for this game, but if he's not there, Spurs, new coach, second game, maybe they won't be clicking on everything. Madison is injured, so potentially we can do it for that one. And then Brighton will be a tough one, and then we get the international break. So I don't know. I think we should be okay if he just misses these 3 games. But I do think he's going to play. Like Pep said, he cannot play the full 90, but he did not say he is not playing at all. That was not included in that report that I read. It's one of those cases where taking risks is unnecessary. We should be able to handle this friendly and even Wolves without Rodri. Let him get back to 100%. I fully agree, Herbal. I 100% agree with that. Hussein says, will Rodri make it to the bench at least? I don't know if you mean specifically which game, but I do think he'll be on the bench. Not tomorrow because he didn't travel, according to that report, but I think he'll be on the bench for these games here. Now, I think there was a couple other transfer links that I saw I wanted to just briefly discuss. A lot of stuff coming out about Lucas Paquetá, talking about Grealish going the other way to West Ham. Now, for me personally, let's say homegrown registration stuff is a non-issue. I would do that 100%. I would be swapping Grealish for Paquetá. Paquetá is a year younger. Grealish obviously has no future at the club. Paquetá potentially could have a future at the club. So, I mean, I think that makes total sense if you can do like a permanent swap where we lose Grealish's wages off the books. Paquetá would come in on like, I don't know, 120, 150, somewhere in that range. And he can be squad depth. He can play on the wing as well. He's done that at West Ham. He's a very, very good technical player. And I think obviously Pep rates the guy just because 2 years ago he was, basically a done deal until the gambling charges. While he didn't have as good of a season these last couple of seasons at West Ham, he has not become a bad player. I think Paquetá, if it happens, would be cool. However, homegrown rules and registration and all that stuff is a thing, and there's just no way we move off the players we need to get this to be a thing. So, while I like the idea and I think it would be cool and I would support it, I just don't think it's realistic, unfortunately. I think it's a cool idea, and that's about it for the Paquetá thing. I think we would need 3 non-homegrown players to leave in order to fit Paquetá in for registration for Prem and Champions League, if I read that correct. And maybe you could get 2. Maybe Gundo leaves. Maybe Ederson leaves. Or maybe Kovacic leaves. But, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Bernardo, I guess. But the guy's our captain. Pep just said Kova's not leaving. And all indications from Gundo's camp is he's staying. So, I don't know how that one happens. And unfortunately for Echeverri, does look like City are set on loaning him and not where he wants to go. They want to loan him to Girona, and he wants to go to Roma. Roma want to have a purchase clause where they get him for 33 million euros, and City don't want that. So that's interesting. I kind of see which side buckles first. Does City give in and say, Echeverri, we rate you so highly that we will buy you back? I don't know. Kind of a weird one. I don't remember what we purchased Echeverri for. I want to say it was 15, 16, 17 million in that range, maybe 20 at max. So, selling him for a 33 million fee, and he played 4 times for us. Obviously that's nice, but I think people rate the guy pretty highly, and people want to see him given a chance at City. So ideally, he gets a chance. I would be a little bit upset about this loan where he automatically goes permanently to Roma. I wouldn't really be a fan of that. If Gvardiol's injured, I'm not going to make it. I don't think he's injured. I think it's just precautionary, probably. Maybe he's injured, but I haven't seen anything about Gvardiol being actually injured. I've seen links to the young 22-year-old defender or fullback. He's non-homegrown, so I don't think it will happen. Yeah, that's Carlos. What's his last name? Lukebaka or something. The Leipzig defender. Yes, again, he's French international, so for me, doesn't have a spot. There's just unfortunately no room. And I will say, this homegrown rule thing, I don't like it. I don't like it. I want City to be able to go out and buy the 25 best players. Why can we only have 17 non-homegrowns? That's a rule that I think should change. And I know people are like, oh, it's so, the English teams will use the academy and whatnot. But the other rules with the academy are it benefits you to not use the academy players and just sell them because they're pure profit. So, I don't know. I think the rules need to be adjusted there. I think there's a They're going in opposite directions. It's like use the academy for the homegrown, but also sell the academy for the profit. Like it's dumb to me. I don't really get these rules that go against each other. They like contradict each other. Very, very weird. The other thing came out yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Savinho Spurs. There's interest there. I would be pretty surprised if Savinho was to leave. Not gonna say he was outstanding last season, but to be honest, nobody was really, really outstanding. He was all right. He was decent. He's young. I think he was only 20 last year. Really lacked in goals, but did have, I want to say, 9 or 10 assists last year. So, I mean, I was a fan of Savinho. I think he did a little bit better when he was on the left than on the right, but the left is kind of Doku's spot and Marmoush's spot at the moment, so I don't really see him getting much time on the left. Do Spurs want to go big? Like, I mean, if Spurs came to us and said, we'll double your money, like you paid 30 million pounds for him, we'll give you 60. I mean, I'd probably be tempted for that, personally. And then, maybe we replace him with a Rodrigo type of player. Maybe there's something there. But I don't know. Is Rodrigo better than Savinho? Probably. But you already got Savinho. You'd have to buy Rodrigo. Rodrigo would be on big wages. So I don't know. Seems like a bit of a unlikely story, but not surprising that Spurs want to sign him. I mean, he's a good player, so why wouldn't they want to sign him? And that's the news that I saw, at least, that I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual lineup for the game tomorrow. Now, the lineup is a little bit less important than most of the time because it is a preseason game and we got 22 players, so it's very possible we just run 11 out there for the first half, and then we run 11 out there for the second half. That could happen. That's what Pep did in that first Club World Cup game. Palermo are a Serie B side, so, I mean, you never want to underestimate your opponent or anything, but we should be fine. I guess we did play Preston, and they're a lower league side, and we only beat them 1-0 in that friendly, so I don't know. Let's see here. I'm making sure I have over on the side the actual 22-man squad so I can see who we can actually use here. In goal, I just think that Ederson is going to get the nod just to be the guy going forward. I think he's going to start the season as our goalie. I understand we bought Trafford for a record British goalie, but Ederson's been here for 8 years or whatever. He's not going to be displaced easily. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if Trafford signed, I think, without assurances Ederson was leaving, he must be understanding that it's Ederson's job and he's got to beat him out. So I'm going to go with Ederson tomorrow for at least the first half. Maybe they both play, but I'm going to go with Ederson. Probably. I think the defense is a bit more difficult, probably, because you want to see a mix of players. All the defenders. How many defenders are we traveling with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they'll probably all play, all 8 defenders. I would guess. So say Ryan Aït-Nouri starts at left back. You guys can let me know in the chat. If you disagree, if you think I'm right, or what you would do. But I just think we'll probably go strong. Maybe a mixture of strong. I don't know. This is a tough one because it's a preseason game. Ortega has been quiet. He's basically got to go, and there's been no links. It's a good point. It's another good point. I think he will go. I just think Burnley makes sense for him because we obviously bought Trafford. But maybe it'll be a club in Germany that'll come calling for Ortega on the cheap. Because remember, we got him on a free, so any sort of money we get is pure profit. So I just don't think they're that worried about it, to be honest, with Ortega. But it is nice to remove him as a non-homegrown player. That's helpful, for sure. The two center backs, I think you probably, even if you guys don't like it, I think you're going to get an Akanji center back start, probably. And then the one on the left, I'm going to go with Nathan Ake. I think that's the starting defensive line for the game tomorrow. And then at some point, Diaz will come on, O'Reilly will come on, Rico Lewis will come on. Will John Stones play? That is a great question. He said in an interview he's been fit for months, which I just don't believe you, John Stones. I don't believe you at all. But I think he maybe gets on the field. Hopefully he does. That'd be great. I'd love to see John Stones. I love John Stones when he's healthy, but unfortunately we all know he's just never healthy. He's just never healthy at all. Now, let's move on to the midfield. You got the most likely lineup, I think, that would make people go crazy is if we started Gundo, Bernardo, Reinders. I think people would lose their mind tomorrow if that is the midfield three. And it's totally possible that Pep puts out Bernardo, Gundo, and Reinders. Well, I think would be funny because people would be so pissed. But just for the sake of it and maybe some hope, I'm going to go with Nico Gonzalez starts, even though there was some, I don't know if you guys watch I'm sure you guys watch other stuff, but Martin over on Mancunian Way had Graham Bailey on, and Graham Bailey said, word for word, Nico G is basically miles off the pace to be a Man City midfielder, and he just thinks City are going to chalk it up as an L, and he's going to leave basically soon. So I was pretty surprised by that because I thought Nico G has looked pretty good. They had that open training session the other day. A lot of people who went have told me he was not very good in the open training session. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Me personally, I think he's good. But I'm losing faith in Pep trusting him to actually play. I feel like he's just not going to play. Why is Akanji even here? He's a mistake waiting to happen. Sell him. There was some links for Akanji to leave, but those have died, and I haven't seen anything. I'd be pretty surprised now, especially with Vitor Hayes going out on loan. I think Akanji's probably here to stay, my guy. Start Nico G already. Akanji, he's a 4th or 5th choice rotation at best. I want to see Kusanov play. I would love it if Kusanov played tomorrow. That'd be fantastic. But, again, this is just a guess. This isn't probably what's going to exactly happen. I'd love to see Kusanov play. Even at right back, I think would be great. So, I don't know, though. I don't know. But I doubt Pep will play. I don't doubt Pep will play Akanji. He seems to love Akanji, man. It's like a weird thing. Maybe because we got him on such a cheap deal and, you think he's not supposed to be as good as he is. I don't know. But I just think Akanji peaked really early at City and has drastically fallen off that peak since that time. And for whatever reason, the coaching staff still sees him as that peak treble winning center back. I don't know why, but it's just not for me, but major trust with Akanji for sure. Ton of trust. Let's go with Cherky in this sort of attacking midfielder role. And on the right, I'm going to go with Bernardo. I think Bernardo as the captain starts this game. It'll probably end up like that because he's a lefty. So it maybe ends up like this. Could see that. Could see Gundo as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Nico G just gets no minutes at all tomorrow, which would be just, I feel for the guy. Really, I really do. But I would like to see this. Bernardo's obviously going to be here. Cherky, I want to see get minutes because I just really enjoy watching him play. It's fun, All Akanji has done was almost cost us major trophies. Still won't forget the UCL heart attack. Yes, he did, however, make the pass in to Bernardo, where Bernardo cut it back, and then Roger scored. So, some give and take. For this front line, the right wing, I think is going to be Oscar Bob, because I'm a big Oscar Bob fan, if you guys don't know. I want him to succeed so bad. I just want him to given his chance. I think he's our best winger, and I don't class Marmoush as a true winger, to be honest, but that would be fantastic. I think the number 9 will be Holland, and then over on the left, I think we will do Doku probably, because Marmoush will come on to replace Holland at some point. I don't think you start both of them, because then you probably have no one to play backup striker. I guess you could play like Bob as a false 9, or Cherokee as a false 9, or Mukasa as a false 9, but probably not. They probably don't both start together, even though I do think they'll play a lot together during the season. And as far as how they build, the actual build-up of the game, we'll go with Ait Nori is probably going to be bombing up and down, while Doku's cutting inside heavy. And then these guys are maybe a bit deeper, and Cherokee can kind of have like a free roll maybe. That's what I would envision. Hashtag Bob Glazer. We all know he's not starting, though, even though we like him too. I'm manifesting Bob to start this game tomorrow. I beg Oscar Bob gets starting minutes and gets to play like 60 minutes. That would be fantastic. If Bob starts tomorrow, I'm willing to bet he scores a goal. All my life, Oscar Bob scores a goal if he plays tomorrow. Anthony's Planet, welcome to the stream. He says, try the new players to see what we have when the big starters are hurt. It's a great point. Great point. I think I did put, I guess you could play Reinders in there instead of Bernardo, but I want to give Nico G a run. I think Reinders probably ends up starting. You're probably right. Ait Nori and Cherokee are the other of the new players. And then maybe Trafford plays the second half if Ederson comes off. Or you could give Trafford the game. I don't think it makes too big of a difference who starts in goal for who actually starts, the first game next Saturday. And I don't think this lineup would be the lineup we run out against Wolves. This is a little integrated between starters and reserves. But obviously I think we should win the game. I don't think it'll be overly difficult. I looked at Palermo's squad just to see if I recognized anyone. The only one I'd ever heard of was Sirigu, the goalie, and he's like 40 years old now. So I'm not overly concerned about the game. Again, it is preseason. Oscar Bob is the king of preseason, if you remember a couple of years ago. So I don't know. This is fine. I think you could maybe see Savinho here. You could see Cherokee out on the right, and maybe Nico O'Reilly here. And I don't know who the other attacking midfielder would be unless you start Mukasa, but I doubt he starts Mukasa first game, first time traveling with the squad. He starts him. I'd be pretty surprised. I think Cherokee probably has to start the game. And then it's going to be some combination of Nico Gonzalez, Gundogan, Bernardo, and Reinders as the other two midfielders. And I don't see a world where Bernardo as the captain doesn't start. Maybe Reinders makes more sense than Nico G, but it probably does, to be honest. Now that I think about it, I really like Nico G, but Pep does not rate this guy at all. We're going with Reinders. That's the lineup. I've changed my mind. Talking with chat and talking it out loud, Nico G is not getting minutes, guys. I'm sorry, but he's just not getting minutes. It's just unfortunately not going to happen. And I am worried about Nico Gonzalez. I will put that out before the season begins. I'm worried about Nico Gonzalez. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm worried. I want to see Mukasa subbed on before freaking Chelsea comes back. Before Chelsea comes back. I don't know what you mean. Before they come back and try to buy him? Maybe? Yeah, I do think Mukasa plays for sure. I think we get Mukasa minutes. I think Holland does not play the full 90. There's no way. Marmoush plays the full 90. Bob obviously won't play the full 90. The only one that I think would play the full 90 is a goalie, is Ederson or Trafford. everyone else, I think, is probably subbed at some point. So starting or not starting doesn't really make a huge difference. Anyway, but that is the lineup I'll go with for the game tomorrow. I will be doing live watch along here on the channel. I purchased City Plus, so I'm excited for that. If you guys are new, do hit a sub. If you're interested in the Discord channel, we've got that right here. I always put my, going live here in the Discord. It's pretty cool. It's new, so we got 15 people or so in there, but you just, of course, if you're interested, check the channel description. You can see the link for that and all my other socials, and I do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow for the game, so I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is, I don't know, what's that, 7 p.m. for you guys over in the UK, 7 p.m. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you.